Welcome back, West Chester Wiffleball fans. We are not a three-pod wonder. Welcome to episode 4. It's your host with the most, Christian, joined by my beautifully handsome co-host, Jaydon.
Oh, thank you so much.
Another guest appearance from the commish, Eoghan. Glad to have you both here today. So today, us three have compiled a list of our serious top 10 players of all time. No jokes, no trolls. This is our definitive list of top 10 players. And before we get started though, Owen, how are we? How are we doing today?
I'm doing great. I just got back down to college. Been going for a couple weeks now. Enjoying my new classes, staying ahead of things, and I'm looking forward to the snow going away so we can start getting back in the lab.
Can't help but agree. Jaydon, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, enjoying the warmer weather, trying to hoop.
Have you been hooping at Pitt? Or just
I have.
Ooh. Dude, I'm
Yes,
trash at
sir.
basketball.
We should play.
I'm good at setting picks. That's about it.
The pick and roll, the screens. Alright. As the host, I'm going to go last. So, Owen, this is how we're going to do it. Owen's going to say his number 10. Jaden's going to say his number 10. I'm going to say my number 10. Circles like that until we get to our number ones. So, Owen, please start us off.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to lead us off. So I'm going to start with my number 10 best player in WCW history. I'm going to go with Joe Griffin, as long as there's a base coach. Kid was a generational talent, a 500 hitter. He was a great on the mound, but kid could not run the bases. Didn't understand tagging, didn't understand running. He ran into outs, but once the Thunder, they had that forward-thinking ability to put base coaches around the bases. Kid became a stud. I think he's very deserving of that number 10 spot.
Yeah, I mean, once Ben would strike out, normally he would just walk over to first and coach Joe on where to go. What a great person to have at 10.
All right, my number 10 is Gus when he can hit the zone. Gus when he can hit the zone, absolutely nasty pitcher. And yeah, I have him in my 10 slot.
He's got absolutely dynamic stuff. If the board is his friend, it's a bad day for hitters.
Yeah, I mean, if the strike zone was the backstop, it'd be a whole different game. Because, yeah, he does have, like, the balls that do get in play from him are, like, I don't think are, like, ever deep, dude.
He's not a hard contact guy. Like, if it's in play, it's either a mile-high pop-up or, like, a weak little dribbler.
All right. And my number 10, this is going to be the best list, so follow along with mine. At number 10, no trolls, no jokes, no gimmicks. It's Aiden Ryder. Aiden Ryder's the number 10 guy easily.
All right.
I think we all had this one clocked for Christian.
Yeah.
Aiden Ryder, his secret weapon in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, he was a great player, great dude. Number 10. All right, back to you.
I find it hard to disagree with that. But I will go to my number 9 spot. And for number 9, I'm going with a classic. I'm going with Soham as the designated fielder. Kid can't hit, kid can't throw, but if you put him in that outfield, he's going to make plays for you. 2023 Gold Glove winner, a defining double play in the Valentine's Cup.
I was actually watching that. I was actually watching the Valentine's Day Cup. I forgot about that play. That was actually electric.
Mm-hmm. Soham, when he's got a glove in his hand and he's out there ready to make a play, it's going to get electric. So you always got to be ready for him to do something awesome. I think he's deserving of my number 9 spot.
The ball finds him too. Remember that out, remember the out against CJ where he just like accidentally kicked it and it hit him out.
Yeah.
All right. At my number 9 slot, I have Jackson in Game 1 of the 2023 first round. He was absolutely teeing off what a performance. It's just the heat got in his way. Simply put, he was tired out there, and it was at a point where I remember him saying, "I just want to go home." And once you get that mentality, it's already over. So, yeah. But in the first game, when his spirits were high, he was raking.
That was an absolute masterclass performance by him and the Bandits there. If that is a 60-degree, partly cloudy day, that series is a whole different story.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I 100% agree.
Because they killed Zach, and then they just got burnt out because Jackson and Bugie, good for one game, if that even. They're small inning guys, and you can't expect them to win a series as the two pitchers.
100% understandable, but still an absolutely electric performance that I think is deserving of the number 9 slot.
Yeah, that's one of those series I regret not making. Wasn't there for that one, but looking back at the score sheets, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was
electric. The Bandits I had no expectations for the Bandits in that series, and they came through with not only a Game 1 win, but a competitive series all the way through. So props to that.
Yeah, I like that pick. I should have had that. But at my number 9, we're going to go with we're sticking to the playoffs, but we're skipping to 2024. I got 2024 playoff Anthony Mendoza in our series. we did get swept last season by the Bandits, so there's only 2 games, but he only played game 2, and he went 1 for 1. Few walks, he was the second time ever somebody has batted 1,000 in a series, and he did in the playoffs, and he broke up Ryan's series no-hitter against us. We would have not had a hit in that playoff without Anthony there. So
I also have this on my list.
Number 8?
I have that as my number 3 best player of all time, Anthony Mendoza in the playoffs.
Wow.
A 1 for 1, 1,000 average playoff performance. I mean, that's generational. That's all you can ask for out of your guy.
It's beautiful.
2,000 OPS. He didn't get retired a single time by one of the best pitchers in the league. He went on to dominate in the World Series.
Absolutely legendary.
But his kryptonite is Anthony Mendoza.
Yes, what a player.
Legendary performance from Anthony.
What a game, I mean.
Wish I could have seen it.
All right, so I am up with my number 8, and I'm going to be sticking to the winter. I'm going to go with Valentine's Cup Jacob Lefevre. He was my teammate in this series, and this winter was a generational time for him. He finished the winter with a 364 average, the highest of his career. And he, in this tournament alone, 4 for 4, 2,000 OPS off of some of the league's best pitchers. Brought 2 balls all the way to the wall, was finding holes, was making plays. He had a generational performance in this Valentine's Cup, and it led us to a win in a time when I really needed one.
Wait, Jacob was he just 4? Wait, so he was 4 for 4 in the chip game then?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, okay. So then Anthony was the third 1,000. Because you get Owen Shields was 1 for 1. Jacob was 4 for 4 then, I guess.
Gotcha.
Anthony was 1 for 1.
That wasn't regular season, so.
That's fine, because then Ben's the 4th dude, 3 for 3 in the Turkey Bowl. But I guess that doesn't count for its career, though.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of Ben, at number 8, gonna be a common one, I think, but I have Ben in games that don't matter just because it's simply true. You said he went 3 for 3 in the Turkey Bowl. He had like a 3 RBI double or something like that. Hit a bomb off Owen in a series that didn't really matter. The dude, just when there's no pressure, it's like the weight is off the shoulders.
He's like the opposite
I also have Ben in meaningless games. He is my number 5 answer.
Oh, wow.
Ben in meaningless games. He really does just gain a second wind when the pressure's off.
I have Ben, but I'm not going to say where he's at just yet. But, yeah, so he's the opposite of the expression, pressure makes diamonds, bro. He folds under the pressure, but as long as there's nothing there, dude, he is the shiniest diamond on the field. And then
100% agree.
My number 8 is also, if we're with Jaydon with Jackson in that playoff series, not just committing it to that, but Bugey with women in attendance. He gets that Jordan Poole effect, and
Yes,
he
sir.
went off. Like, he
Mhm.
in that series might have been bad pitching wise, but hitting wise in that playoff series season was insane. And I mean, I don't know if there was any other series with girls, but I forget. But he has that Jordan
I
Poole
have
effect, man.
I have a point to make on that one later, but I'll hold on to it for now. Okay.
All right, Owen, let's hear that number 7 pick.
All right. At my number 7 pick, I'm going back to the same guy I just talked about. I'm going to go with Jacob Lefevre if the wall was 3 feet shorter in this 2024 Bandits Thunder series. He hit a deep ball off of
Okay.
eventual Diamond Ace winner Ryan
I
Buckley and just missed it. If it was a 3 feet closer, he hits his first career nuke in a big situation. Probably propels that Thunder team to a win in that series.
I had something similar. It was Jacob facing Ryan when it's very dark out,
That same moment.
which is the same exact moment that you're talking about. Yes, I had that as my number 4 best player of all time. So
In the headlights, Brad. Yeah.
Awesome.
He's also hit some. He does have a little bit of pop. So I mean, even not even just including that hit against Ryan, but just all time, he probably has a few more home runs to his name if that wall's just what you said, 5 feet closer.
He's got Oppo Taco Pop. That's what he has. It's what he does best.
indeed. So my number 7 pick is Owen when Christian comes up to bat. This is another common one, I think. Yeah, whenever Christian just steps up to that plate, it just brings out the nastiest in Owen. It's really all I can describe it. Pipe only.
Yeah, it's
He's a
And
annoying.
longtime rival. He's a longtime rival. So I know when he comes up to the dish, I gotta put together my best work. He sees me really well. If I make a mistake, I know he's gonna punish me for it. So when he comes to the dish, I know I've got to be on my A game.
I
So
mean,
I don't hold back.
it's the same thing as me as a hitter there. It is very difficult seeing other players get these pitches, and you're like, all right, you know what, I'm going to absolutely kill Owen today. These pitches aren't working how he wants them, blah, blah, blah. And then you get 3, just good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and it's like, what am I doing standing here, dude? But yeah, it's a chess game every time I go up against Owen, dude.
yeah.
You know,
One of the best rivalries in the league. I've got to say it flat out.
it's probably number 1. And then for my 7, I also have Jacob in my 7 spot, but I have Jacob in scoreagami games. So over this past few days, I've been going back in our scoreagami history, and I've been putting the records of players in those games, um, their wins and losses and ties. And Jacob came out as there was a lot of people at 500s and a lot of the new guys that only played in a few games. But Jacob, with 17 games to his name in scoreagami games, and I mean hasn't been on the best of teams overall, but is 12-4-1. I believe that was like .7. It was high in the 700s, and I was just say it was just a
An
anomaly.
anomaly?
Anomaly.
Yeah, an
Yeah, an
anomaly
anomaly.
when I was looking at everybody's records and I was like, why is Jacob so good in scoregami games?
He's that wild card X factor, man. When the series gets chaotic, Jacob thrives. Always has, always will.
All right, now
All
on
right.
to our 6.
For my number 6 spot, I'm doing a bit of a callback for earlier, but I'm broadening it. For number 6, I have boyfriends when their girlfriend is present. Pretty much across the board, the Jordan Poole effect applies in WCW. When Shawty pulls up, the men do crazy. Jace in that playoff series, Jaydon
One of
in
his
his
best
playoff series,
series ever from
his
Jace.
best series ever for both of them. Bugey. had his wonderful series with the girls around. When the female gaze is there, for some reason WCW shines like it never does before.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it's obviously there. The stats are there to prove it too.
Exactly. 100%.
Going to you,
I
Jade.
guess my number six. Sorry, I actually do have a bit of Ben on here now that I look back at it, but I have Ben shortly after he discovered the submarine ethos pitch. I don't know. I know Owen was there for that. I don't
I
know if
do
Christian.
remember this.
Yeah, I don't know if Christian, you were there earlier that day. This was also the same day that you had that closing performance in Owen's backyard. But Ben, he discovered the submarine ethos where he just threw the ball like a bowling ball. That's what he said, and he immediately went 1, 2, 3 using this pitch, and it was absolutely electric. So Ben, shortly after discovering the submarine ethos, I have as the sixth best player of all time.
I think, and now I remember that series because I actually think Ben came up to me and was like, "Hey, can I pitch?" Because it was a winter game. So I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I didn't field. I didn't put myself in the field. So I just walked off and I'm like talking with somebody, and I turn around and it's the next inning. I was like, "What happened?"
Yeah,
Yep. Ben
I
went
was
one,
facing
two, three.
I faced that pitch. It was interesting because it looked like it was going to be a riser, but then it it was just an ethos. Like it looked like it was going to be a riser, but then it looked like it was going to drop, and it just didn't. It just stayed right there for me, and it was on a tee 3 times, and I missed it all 3, and so did the rest of my squad. So you can't argue with results.
Yep.
Oh, my number 6 guy. I like this pick a lot. This is week 1 Matt Hillman. Matt Hillman in week 1 in 2023, he went 2 for 6 against the Thunder, who with Zach Anagno is one of the best pitchers in the league that year. And then in 2024, when it wasn't too great, I think it was 1 for 6. But his hit had gotten them the win. It was against AJ. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. His hit against AJ up the middle gave the Bandits that win because the Watchdogs were like, I don't know how many outs away they were, but it was
I
practically,
think it was 2.
yeah. If they secured that,
Trauma response.
if they secured that out against Matt and got another one, they were winning that game easy. And if you look at those two hits, so the 2 hits in 2023 and the 1 hit in 2024 are Matt's only hits. Like whenever he played again that season, he did not get any other hits. So he's a week 1 guy, and I think he deserves to be in top 10.
I understand that pick entirely. Week 1 warrior. Good for him.
Yeah.
So for my number 5 spot, we alluded to it earlier, but I have Ben Waterman in meaningless games. He's generational. In those games when it doesn't matter, he's a new kind of talent.
Mhm.
So I will pass it right along to Jaydon.
Yep. On the topic of Ben Waterman here, I got bracket Ben as my
Bracket.
number 5 pick. Ben Waterman in the bracket format. There's something else that just comes out in him. I believe he has 2 rings in off-season tournaments, and also in the 2023 postseason, which is a bracket format. He balled out. He had a homer, I believe, and a solid batting average. So I have bracket Ben at number 5. And that's the last of Ben on my list.
Bracket Ben, I love the
Ben
bracket
meat
Ben.
writer. Oh my goodness.
I love the bracket Ben pick because I thought about it. I think he probably gets an honorable mention from me. But yeah, just he was the Winter Classic winner. He played well in the Valentine's Cup under you, Jaydon, and then he went completely off in the Turkey Bowl. And then, yes, that playoffs in the 2023, he won cold as ice because he was one of the worst players in 2023's regular season. He was
Mhm.
horrible. And then the playoffs hit, and then he becomes one of the best.
Yeah,
It was wild.
yeah.
And then not my number 5, kind of the top 5 guys here. My number 5, I have a little bit of a player v player matchup. I have Gus when he versus AJ. You do some digging. In the winter, he has 2 home runs off of him. AJ not too prone to giving up the home run. He's a very great relief pitcher. Gus got the best of him twice, and then the only time they faced in 2024, Gus went 500 in that series. One of our best hitters against the Watchdogs that week. Gus is just amazing player when he goes up against AJ.
I think Gus versus AJ is like one of those upcoming rivalries to definitely look out for in the 2025 season because, I mean, those guys, they came into the league around the same time. They know each other very well. It's a really good, friendly competition. And, yeah, Gus, knows it gets under AJ's skin when he takes him deep, and it brings out another level in both of them.
Yeah, and I'll continue this conversation because my number 4 answer is Gus when facing AJ. 2 homers in the winter, the same logic with him. I had him at the number 4 spot. Gus really just does read that pitch well out of AJ's hand. He's not a power guy. AJ really doesn't give up homers. I think he's only given up 2 or 3 more in his entire career. But Gus, he knows it well when he sees it, and they're super close. I'm sure they hang out all the time. And I'm sure that AJ is going to be more than inspired to get back at Gus in this coming season.
Yeah, I'm with Jaydon, bro. It's definitely an up and coming rivalry because it was the not number 1 because they were the number 2 and number 3 coming into 2024. Ryan obviously was way up there, but them competing to be like the best relief and then competing against each other. I can't wait for 2025.
Absolutely. My number 4 was Jacob facing Ryan when it's very dark out, which we already alluded to earlier. So I'll pass it right along to Christian.
All right, my number 4 is another player v player. This time I'm dunking on myself. It's Jackson Ward versus Christian. He gets the best of me every single time. Another one of the league's best rivalries. It's just we see each other very well. I mean, and I have 12 home runs. I have five of them have come against Jackson. But Jackson against me had one of his best series ever in 2023. He walked me off in 2024. And it's a back and forth between me and him whenever we come up against each other.
Those are one of the most entertaining series. Some of the most entertaining series in WCW. Those Bandits Gamblers classics.
Yeah.
You and Jackson always at each other's throats, and the rest of those squads, there's hate between those squads. It doesn't matter who's filling out those rosters. When they come to the field, they know it's battle.
Yes.
That's
always.
true. I remember the emotions were strong for my first ever series when Jackson took Jace deep. Jace was like trying not to throw the ball at him as he was crossing the bases, having to talk him out of it. So, yeah, no, I completely agree. Those series are electric.
Yeah, and it's so annoying, too, because this year, they're the World Series champions. They were the best team. So I knew we weren't going to get too many wins against them. But in 2023, they were the worst team, but they still had beaten my squad both times.
They had our number.
2-1 series both times. They own me. He owns me.
But the second time I think is different because
it's a Mickey Mouse because it was me, Jeffrey, and Owen as a Phil, but and then again it was Jackson, Bugey, and sorry. It was me, Jeffrey, and Soham against Jackson, Bugey, and Owen as a Phil. So it was Mickey Mouse, but I mean, me and Jeffrey should have done it. We'll go into our top 3 players of all time. Owen, start us off.
My top 3, my number 3 was already said. That playoff Anthony Mendoza, he's generational. The playoffs, the biggest time of the year, going 1 for 1, having that 2,000 OPS. It's generational. It's necessary. He's my number 3, so I'm passing it right along.
We already talked about that one earlier, but my number 3 is Aiden Buckley in the home run derby.
Oh, that's great.
Aiden Buckley,
Great.
Aiden Buckley in the home run derby. just an absolute monster. He was crushing them. Would he have like 17, 15, something in that
Yeah,
range?
well into the double digits.
Yes, something in that range in the home run derby. He absolutely tore his way through and won it. So yeah, Aiden Buckley in the home run derby I have as the third best player.
That went way under my radar. I didn't think about
Yeah,
that at
I
all.
didn't. That was good pool. Great pool at the number 3 spot.
Thank you, thank you.
And then my number 3 spot, I'm shouting you out here, Jaydon. No, 2023 playoff Jaydon, one of, if not the greatest pitchers of all time in our league's history. The stats here are a 0.3, in 6 games, 0.35 ERA, only 1 earned run, and that was because of Jace's base runner. So the rules, if it was last season or if it was this season, the rules he would have had a 0 ERA in the playoffs. 19 Ks with 8.5 innings pitched. It was a phenomenal performance, and it's where he got his clutch gene and is known for being the clutch pitcher he is.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a generational performance. Really a shocker, too, coming in from that postseason where things were a little bit rocky. We knew he had the potential, and he broke out at the perfect moment. So many congratulations to Jaydon for that series. That playoffs was amazing.
Thank
But I'll
you,
carry
thank
you right
you.
along into my number 2. And in a stroke of my own ego, I picked myself when I am filling in for the Borough Bandits. I have done this 3 times. In 3 series I have filled in for them, I have an average of 727 with 6 home runs, 2 of which were walk-offs. So I know I am the captain of the Watchdogs, but if the Bandits are trying to trade, all I'm saying is I've got a track record in helping you guys out when you need it. I also gave you a World Series ring, even if I wasn't playing for you.
The green and black.
That completely flew under my radar. I cannot believe I didn't even think of that.
I actually was thinking Owen and Phil games, but I just remembered the Burrow Bandit one against me, and I was like, I don't know about his Phil games in other scenarios, and I didn't really look at it.
There's only been 1 Phil game where I haven't hit a home run in history.
That's absurd.
That Owen and Phil games, actually hearing that would probably make my list if I were to redo it. But now on to you, Jaydon.
I agree. Number 2, we talked about it already, but a little bit. But I have Matt when facing AJ as my number 2 player of all time. We already talked about it a little bit, but the game-winning RBI off of AJ, an absolutely electric moment, and I think that's the moment that will define Matt's career. I think that's the defining moment of Matt's illustrious career with 2 World Series rings, of course. And yeah, I have him top 2. Number 1, I think Christian might still have this lurking, but we'll see.
I don't think I have your player, but I love the Matt versus AJ. Now AJ has been the pitcher on our the bad end in our top 10 now twice.
Unfortunately.
But my number 2, we've talked about you guys have both had him here. That's why I didn't want to bring him up. But Winter Ben, I'm not doing meaningless game Ben, but Winter Ben especially, when some might call them meaningless. But Winter Ben has a .465 batting average, 6 extra base hits with 1 triple. The triples do not come often. I think there might be less than 5 triples in our league's history. He has 3 home runs, a whole handful, easily double-digit RBIs. He has a series MVP. We only do that in the winter. And then in the Turkey Bowl, he was 3 for 3, 8 RBIs, and pretty much, I'd say, won them that game. And yeah. There's not much more to say about Ben when the weather's under 60.
Yeah, Ben in the cold.
I mean, I guess
y'all been meat riding Ben today. Damn.
You had him
It's
too.
True. It's true.
I did. I had him once.
All right.
But without further ado, let's go to the number one answer. And for me, his name has come up a couple times already. But I'm going with, for the best player in WCW history, World Series Matt Hillman. 2-0. And with the sheer limited effort he needs, he is so good at this sport we love that he can win the World Series twice with only 2 plate appearances. A strikeout and a walk. That's
Absolute
all he needs
cinema.
to win 2 World Series. It's cinema. He's the best player in
Unbelievable
history,
output.
and there's no question about it. I have
2-0,
my
2-0
definitive
in the
number one.
finals. 2-0 in the finals. You can't say shit to that.
He has won 100% of the WCW World Series, and he hasn't even lifted a finger.
He's the Michael Jordan of our league.
Actually, the Bill Russell.
The Bill Russell of our league.
Stinks he retired, bro. He was my number 1 overall pick, dude. I needed that. It's just the good luck on that, bro.
It's true. It's true. For my number 1 player of all time, I have Soham in Game 2 of the 2023 first round.
Oh.
Where he hit his 3 RBI double, and it might have been the game where he caught that laser, but it was still. Did he catch a laser in that series? I think he did.
He did.
Yeah,
He
I
robbed
don't know if it
CJ.
was that game or the one before, but like still in the same general area, same series. Soham balled out, helped us win that series.
That was, yeah, Soham, not really known for hitting, and especially that was the clutchest moment he could have gotten a hit. It was
that moment from the season. I think that may be my favorite moment from the season because we are going to the World Series, and
our
like
first
we
ever
knew right after that
series
play that
win.
we were going to the World Series.
Yeah, it was.
Soham came through in a big moment to give us 3 RBIs because I believe we were losing at that point because CJ did hit a home run.
No, the home run was
Was the home run after?
It was like garbage time. It was.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It was in the top. It was either top or bottom of the third. I'd assume top because we were the lower seed.
Yeah, but still, Soham coming through in a big moment here to send us to the World Series. So I have him.
It was electric.
Game 2, Soham.
I was trying to find a place to put Soham on my list. That probably, thinking about that hit, that probably puts him in there somewhere. But number 1 overall player here. Who else but me? Christian Gormley is the number 1 best player in West Chester Wiffleball history. There's no arguing against it.
Absolutely not. There is no way.
There's no arguing against it. No gimmicks, no certain appearances.
That's crazy.
Christian.
I was the only one that didn't put myself on their list. That's absolutely insane. You guys both put yourselves on your own lists. That's crazy, bro. That's like interviewing. That's like interviewing an NFL player and being like, "What's your Mount Rushmore for your position?" And they put themselves on there, bro. Like,
that's because we're the OGs and we get to do that, kid. We have tenure.
Bro, that's crazy.
You're still a 1-year vet.
Like I'm just humble.
Yeah, you are so humble, Jaydon. You are so humble.
Yeah, well, I think we all have some very great lists here.
We're going to put them up on the screen right now.
Yeah, it should be.
There you are. Good luck, editor.
Thanks. No, I was gonna put them up as we set them as well. But yeah, here's all 3, so you can see it more clearly now. And I think the most said name maybe was Ben and Jacob. So I think we'll bring Jacob on, talk to him a little bit about these game-centered, specific moment instances. Let's get him on. Welcome, Jacob. We were doing our top 10 best players of all time list. You came up a handful of times, and since you were next to my co-host Jaydon, we decided to interview you here. I'll start because mine is not very game-centered or anything. But if you wanted to know some quick stats, in scoregami games for West Chester Wiffleball, so unique scores, obviously, your record in those games is 12-4-1. 12 you've played in 17 scoregami games, won 12 of them, and have only lost 4. A very insane stat from you. I don't know if you have any mentality going into those games knowing anything, but
Yeah. So, usually every game I'm like, I start studying up all the previous scores, and I'm really just trying to win, but I'm also trying to get a scoregami there.
that's I love that. I love that from you.
Respectable.
I say if he knows that if he walks in a run, it's not scoregami. He might swing in a couple in the dirt because it's all about legacy.
Exactly.
Obviously.
All right, I'm gonna take the mic here from Christian just real quick. I had you appear 2 times on my list for the 7 and 8 spots. I had you appear in the Valentine's Cup. Do you remember that tournament? It was you, me, and Jeffrey. Soham also joined later.
Yeah.
You had a great day, 4 for 4, 2,000 OPS. Just what were your thoughts as you brought a couple to the wall against Jaydon and Jackson?
I just was really excited. It was my first time playing a decent bit. I was happy to get back out into the field, start playing again. And yeah, I guess I was just feeling good that day. Not really much else to it.
Yeah, it's a good, short, simple approach. I love it. And then my other moment I had you at the number 7 spot was you. If the wall was 3 feet closer, I'm making that reference to the near home run off
He
of
remembers
Ryan
all too
Buckley.
clearly.
Oh, he remembers it.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind right after you hit that ball?
Right after I hit it, I knew that I kind of crushed it, and I knew that it was a well hit ball, especially for me. Zero official home runs, and I started running, and I was looking, and I saw that he couldn't see the ball. So I was like, okay, it might have gone over. So my hopes started to get up, and then he just reached back down and grabbed it. And I was like, because that could have been it, and it was off Ryan.
Yeah,
That would have been
would've been-
insane, bro. Only
Yeah.
career home run against one of the best pitchers in our league, dude.
That is true. And you do hold a record. You do have the current longest streak of at-bats without a home run. So what are you going to do next season to break that streak?
Let's go.
What's your approach next season to break that streak?
Probably I'm going to be looking for a scoregami game. We're down.
Oh, dude, yes.
I just need one more. Bang, hit a quick homer.
Of course.
Absolutely.
If that happens, bro.
If that happens, I'm retiring.
If that happens, it will be on the meme page.
Oh, it
Called it.
definitely will.
Jacob,
Thank you so much for your time. Jaydon, do you have anything you want to ask?
Yeah, my moment on my list was Jacob when it's dark outside, or like when it's very dark outside, referring to that moment that Owen was talking about. But I just want to say that like we've seen you do it. Like you hit a home run in Owen's backyard. That's arguably one of the harder parks to hit a home run in practice.
Yeah.
So like it's there.
It is there.
To add on to that too, in our game when it got dark in week 1, in the shootout overtime we played, you were the dude who walked and had won you guys that game 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yep. Thanks again,
And
Jacob.
also, yeah.
Go ahead.
Christian. Another thing, I told Jacob about this last night, but we did franchise leader statistics last night, and Jacob has is 4th highest in Watch Dogs history in career batting average, higher than AJ.
Wow.
Over 300 with the franchise. So
I'm gonna need to see those stats.
Jacob, we're bringing you back to the Watch Dogs, kid. We're bringing you back.
I'm going back home.
Can't wait for the
welcome home,
scoregami
Jacob.
games next season.
Thank you.
All right, yes, thank you, Jacob, for coming on, and good luck to you in your 2025 season.
Thank you.
Crazy. All right, thank you again to Jacob for coming on, letting us interview him, and we're gonna end it off like we usually do with a hot take. This one's gonna be more so, who do you think next season that could actually sneak into your top 10 of all time is gonna have a crazy game-specific moment or crazy. Have have something crazy happen when he's at the bat or pitching. And we'll start it with you again. We'll go in our circle.
Sounds good. Yeah, so for my take, I know he's not historically, but Nate Bugey, he had a rough year last year, but I have faith that Mr. Boogie is going to turn it around. I have faith that next season, I know he's going into that firefighting academy. He's probably going to be a little pressed for time, but I'm expecting him to come through in one of these series. 1 homer, maybe even 2 homer day. Catching. I think he's going to make an impressive play in the field. I think he's going to put together a great day here at the field. I think he's going to have a generational moment for whatever team decides they're going to employ his talents next season.
Yeah, he did have an electric moment this season, too, with that catch against, I believe it was...
Jeffrey, right?
Jeffrey, yeah. An insane catch, yeah, because I was on second. I watched it happen because he was in right field.
Yep.
Then hit.
Yeah, he's got a lot of talent. I think he's definitely a little out of it now, but I think he's going to have it back for next season, and he's going to provide a moment to remember in 2025.
For me, I'm just gonna say I think Brett hits a walk-off homer next year. Brett definitely has he's brought some to the wall, and I think in a big time, someone's going to be hurting to throw strikes, just want to get it in there. They're going to throw him a lob, and he's going to hit it out, win the game for his squad.
I think he's definitely got that in him. I worked with Brett last year. He has a lot of pop in those practice sessions when you're just meatballing it in there. He can get a ball to go and that lefty power bat. It's something this league is always itching for. So I'd love to see it happen.
All right, and then along with just, I guess, homers, I won't say walk-off homer, I won't do it that much, but we were talking about longest plate appearances without a home run. I don't think Anthony makes top 5, or he might sneak into the 5 because he was just a one-season player, but I think Anthony is the next man to hit a home run, and it's going to be electric when it happens. I can't wait for it next season. I'm calling it now.
He's already got an extra base hit. He's got a to-the-wall double in one of those series. It was electric, so I could see it happening. Don't rule it out.
I ain't ruling everything out. I ain't ruling anything out, and thank you again, Owen, for joining us. Thank you, Jaydon, always. And hope you guys enjoyed your list. Maybe put one of your top 10 players down below. And we're out. Oh, wait, I think I...